Florida has had many problems happening within its borders, and most don't even know about it. The pollution going into the ocean has killed millions of sea life, and we're the cause of that. The cause would be the production of fertilizers and phosphorus mining used in fertilizers. Production is still happening right now at some of these facilities. However, many have shut down, which is actually the leading problem. Phosphate mining needs to be stopped before we lose the natural beauty of Florida. Back in 2004 and in 1977, there were a couple sinkholes that opened up in the same gypsum stack. The one in 1997 dumped over 50 million gallons of toxic water into the Lafayette River. In the past years, Mosaic has become the leading producer of fertilizer in the world. Yet, they still can't solve their own problem with all this toxic water getting released into our bodies of water. The Florida DEP states approximately 25 to 30% of these lands are wetlands or other surface waters. Phosphate mining has disturbed so many acres of Florida and has contaminated thousands more. The permits to do this mining are given out to many companies, but mainly one being Mosaic. Phosphate is great for profit, but not for the environment. If we keep giving out permits, then more and more mining is going to happen in Florida. The start of fixing this ongoing problem would be to either stop giving out permits or limit them to giving out less. All the hoops these companies jump through are too easy, meaning more mining could take place. If we stop one of these hoops, then mining would be over. Sinkholes occur in the gyp stacks and pollute the aquifer down in Florida, specifically in Manatee County, where most of the mining has taken place. According to the experts that wrote the article, History of Phosphate Mining in Florida Fraught with Pearl, we're down to about 340 million gallons that could breach in totality in a period of minutes, and the models for less than an hour are as high as 20-foot wall of water. These stacks of water hold material that, when it would be released to the oceans, it'd kill all kinds of marine life. That's exactly what's been happening. Everything that has happened with fertilizer production, either now or in the past, could have been prevented. The company mostly in charge of this should spend its billions of dollars it made on fertilizer and put it back into Florida's environment. In Florida and around the runoff area, it's not even safe to swim anymore. Plus, this has supercharged the almost always occurring red tide into killing millions of sea life. The problem here is obvious. The Mosaic sinkhole, being the one here on the screen, has been the topic for the past couple months as well. The company Mosaic kept this sinkhole incident a secret for 3 weeks before letting the general public know about it. Sinkholes have caused toxic drinking water in their aquifer and once again don't help with the red tide and killing more marine life. In a new story, they state, there's no reason to stay away from the beach unless you are sensitive to the respiratory irritation that red tide can sometimes cause. This red tide might spike once again with the perfect storm. When the currents and wind are in line with each other, they push more and more dead fish to shore. This news story states that the red tide is only getting worse because of the nutrients in the water. The nutrients combined with the radioactive water spilled into the ocean are the exact reasons why the red tide is getting worse once again. The news story also said that a respiratory illness can come out of this if it affects you at all. However, I've read many other problems can come out of swimming in water with the red tide in it. Did the release of 215 million gallons of toxic water cause the red tide near Tampa Bay to be extremely worse than years in the past? This is the question lots of scientists and other marine enthusiasts are asking themselves. A professor told the local news in Florida, I believe the Piney Point discharges could be fueling that same bloom and making matters worse. Looking at past red tide maps from years ago, the red tide this year seemed to become worse as it got closer to where the water was discharged. However, the tropical storm Elsa could have contributed to pushing more dead sea life onshore, making it seem as if the red tide was worse. Now, was this the company's only option to save the dam and release millions of gallons of radioactive water? That question has not been answered. My guess is that there was something else they could have done. On top of sinkholes and releasing toxic water because of faulty dams, this should have been prevented. The fertilizer farmers get out of this is not worth all the harm it does to the environment. I feel for all the people that have suffered from this in Florida as well. People have gotten hurt from swimming just in the ocean. The government needs to pass a bill to get this stuff shut down. Maybe if it was taken to court, the problems would be solved. Farmers have lived without fertilizers for many years before phosphorus fertilizer, so we should stop harming the environment with it. Nothing good is coming out of this process. Phosphate mining should be shut down and made illegal in the state of Florida. Thank you.